Hello everyone and welcome to the first video on my new channel! I've been running my other channel, Captain Bulbasaur, for nearly 7 years, but decided to split my art content and gaming content onto another channel entirely, which is why I'm here today. So welcome to Cappy here, I'm your host Cappy. This channel will be all about gaming, playing new games, reviewing games, we'll discover more as we go on. Since the game is coming out in less than a week, I am so excited, I thought it would be fun for my first video to go through some Resident Evil Requiem fan theories on Reddit to see what people think is going to happen in the game. I had a couple pre-picked out that I want to go through, but I'll also just have a scroll around to see if any stick out to me as being particularly interesting. Without any further delay, let's just get into it. This is unscripted. This is just me going about it as I read it. Okay, I've moved the microphone a bit, I hope it's still good, but the first one I wanted to discuss is Leon could be killed in Resident Evil 9. I have seen this everywhere. I've seen this absolutely everywhere. Like, whenever you look at theories or anything about the game, everyone just says they're gonna kill Leon. And call me basic all you want, because I am very basic. Leon is my favourite Resident Evil character. I would be very, very upset if he died. Anyway, I'm gonna take a look at these. So they've just got some pictures kind of explaining their thoughts, and then there's some text here. Oh god, it's one big wall of text, Jesus. I suppose most people who are typical Resident Evil fans have noticed the lower left image of Leon with an infected wound of some sorts already, and it's already spiked up many fan theories that Leon might be infected or killed off in the new Resident Evil 9. But I also noticed something else I realised many, or I suppose no one has noticed about it yet. The upper right picture of Leon was featured in a red suit with white shirt and green tie, and was published by the official Resident twice. I'm sorry, that just threw me off a little bit. Published by the official Resident Evil account on Instagram. What I possibly noticed after 2 weeks is that the image of Leon looks normal, nothing going on, but if you look closely at his left eye, it's almost weird. I don't need to explain. You can tell by the fact that the white part around the iris is black, and at first I thought it must be the lighting and shadows, but even if you look at it longer, you'll realise that's totally off. Plus, if you notice the official trailer for Resident Evil Requiem features zombies, or whatever you can call them, bioweapons with the same type of eye, and I've provided a picture above. But Leon appears with only one such eye, so my theories are, here we go, this is what we wanted. He is infected, but he finds a cure like he did for the last Plagas in the RE4 remake. He is showcased with only one zombie-like eye, so my other theory is that he becomes some sort of hybrid, if you get what I mean. Or that the one weird eye, one normal, was probably a trick so fans don't catch it right away, like a little Easter egg. Or they will kill Leon in this game since he's getting old now, but these are just theories. Please share your thoughts and theories with me, I'd love to read them. This is just what I noticed and I wanted to be brought into the spotlight for other RE fans to know. And please excuse my English or any grammatical errors, as my English is very poor. That's okay. I have seen this theory a lot that they're gonna kill Leon, and I don't think it's entirely out of the question. I don't think it's an impossibility. Spoilers for Resident Evil 8 Village. I'm just gonna talk about that for a sec. A lot of people say they would never kill off a main character in a game like this, but Ethan, you know, kind of the whole thing that happened with him. But I understand that the difference there would be Leon is definitely like the face of Resident Evil. He's the poster boy of the franchise. And that's evident in the fact that they're bringing him back now when he's going to be, what, 51 in the game? I think that either they are going to kill him, or it's going to be like a big fake out death and then he retires or something and then won't be in the games anymore because he would be getting a bit old for it. I'm sorry if you hear any weird little crunching noises in the background. My cat is eating right now, and he's not a very quiet eater, unfortunately. But yes, I believe it is entirely possible that they could kill him off. It would be a massive shame. I love him so much. Yeah, it's basic, but he is my favourite Resident Evil character. RE4 Make is my favourite Resident Evil game that I've played. I own 2 Resident Evil games that I haven't played yet. I was maybe going to do them as some sort of video on this channel. And that was Resi 0 and Revelations. If that's something you want to see, let me know, and I can get around to doing that at some point. I've had them on my PC for ages. This is what happens when I don't script my videos. I get lost. I do kind of agree with this theory. I think it's very possible. But also, a lot of people are very attached to him as a character, so it's, it could go either way in my eyes. Okay, this one is from 10 days ago. This is very, very recent. So, what if Resident Evil 9 ends with a final choice? Save Grace or Leon? That would be very interesting, actually. I don't know if they'd really go for the split ending thing. I know 7 had something like that, but I also don't know how much difference it made because 8 kind of picked a canon ending of the 2, as far as I remember. It's been years since I've played 7, so my memory's a bit hazy. Imagine a final decision that actually changes the outcome. Like different endings, different consequences. Just wondering. Okay, here we go. Here's someone talking about 7. So 7 gave you the choice between Zoe and Mia, and a lot of people were pretty annoyed that the choice essentially meant nothing. Very beginning of Village retconning any choice, Zoe dying if you choose her, as well as her DLC hinging on you leaving her behind. Yeah, I don't think they'll go for a proper split ending thing. I think it'll just have like one confirmed ending. Grace finna die. Oh, Reddit comments. One of the only scenarios where I'd save the man. Jesus. I mean, it's an interesting thought, but I don't think so. I don't think it's a thing that's gonna happen. Mainly because, well, if they were to make another game that follows on from it, it will probably just have the one ending that leads up to it. But also, I'm pretty sure that most of the players would pick Leon. I do feel kind of bad for Grace as a protagonist because I feel like she would get entirely overshadowed by Leon being there. I'm excited to get to know her as a protagonist, but we'll see. Okay, here's someone saying, I really don't see how Leon could die in 9. This is from a month ago. I see people manifesting this idea in all the comment sections, but I cannot fathom how. The story they've shown so far is incredibly low stakes. This guy's been doing something in secret for years and no one has noticed. The idea of the truth is revealed doesn't really play into major monsters like we've seen in the previous games. The main plot element is that Grace's mum is gone and Leon is investigating something. Having a main character of a 30-year-old franchise die in a random one-off would be kinda silly. Looking at the gameplay, Leon is literally at peak performance. The zombies aren't deadlier than Gyarados, and they talk a lot about how Leon is too experienced to be scared. And from a narrative level, him dying here would be anticlimactic. Ada, Claire, Sherry. If he was going to die, then his plotlines and relationships should be sorted out first. Having people die with unfinished storylines is bad writing, and no, real life is like that is just an excuse. If he were to die, they'd need to spend a lot of the game setting it up well. And sure they can, but they haven't shown that yet. This is a more interesting take on it. I haven't seen many people discussing why they don't think he could die. So that's interesting, okay. I don't get why people want this TBH. It's like, why would anyone want the best character in the series, alongside Claire, to die? Makes no sense. Love Ari as a whole, 100% would not mind Leon dying. Story is story. Bad writing is also bad writing. There's no way they'd kill off Leon. They make way too much money off of him. The only reason they could kill Ethan was them deciding to hide his face and the games being first person. None of the essential characters from the games can die. I didn't really consider it from the side of him not dying, because all I've seen are theory videos of him dying. I mean, it's clear that he's infected with something, but I don't know if that's gonna end up with him dying or not. Okay, I found a theory that results in him not dying. This is interesting. My theory is that Leon won't die in RE9, but instead will be permanently maimed, most likely losing his right arm as Capcom's way of writing him out without crossing the line of killing off one of their most beloved icons. Capcom wouldn't dare outright kill Leon, but they do need a definitive in-universe reason to retire him from the frontline action, and a life-altering injury fits perfectly. So, here's my thought process. In one frame of the trailer, you can spot what looks like an infection, which from what I see looks like it causes necrosis along the right side of his neck. Necrosis is the premature, irreversible, and uncontrolled death of body cells and tissues caused by external factors like infection, injury, toxins, or lack of blood flow. You learn something new every day. Implying a viral spread that could travel down into his right arm, making amputation the only option. Necrosis isn't something that can simply be vaccinated or cured, so unless he somehow gains regenerative abilities, I don't see another way. Another shot shows Leon staring at a computer screen displaying an infection actively spreading along a right arm, which could very well be his own since it's been confirmed the face on the screen is actually him. It could also be foreshadowing his fate if that's not his arm. His design choices feel suspicious. Leon is consistently shown wearing a jacket and gloves, and every deluxe outfit is long-sleeved, which could be an intentional effort to conceal the progression of the infection on his arm. Even his undershirt seems like it's long-sleeved to me. We all know Leon just isn't the type to simply retire and ride off into the sunset. He's a fighter who would keep throwing himself into danger until he physically couldn't. And losing a limb is in line with that. It also gives Capcom room to bring him back for cameos and whatnot. Maybe give him some small behind-the-scenes roles in future games. Taken together, I feel like Capcom is setting up a brutal but survivable fate for Leon. He lives, but at a cost that finally forces him out of the fight. Okay. I'm gonna be perfectly honest, I really like this theory. That's something you can play with. If we're going with the idea that this isn't just something he can cure or vaccinate, because if Capcom was looking for a way to get him out of action but keep him alive, that probably is the best way to go about it. You mean his right hand comes off? I love the internet. Also, am I dumb or isn't this his left arm? Like, I swear it was his left hand that he pulled the glove off of in the trailer. I might be misremembering it. Yeah, that's his left hand. Why does everyone talk about the right? Okay. I think that's a fun theory. I like that as a theory. Okay, we have been discussing a lot just about Leon so far, so this is from 9 months ago. So my theories for RE9, all just my own thoughts and feelings from what I've seen. Okay, I'm so happy with what we've seen in the new trailer for Resident Evil 9, and I'm very interested in this new take that almost feels like a return to its core while also branching out. But some of the other information we've heard has led me to a big theory on what the game will actually look like. Now, let me explain. I think we'll end up with 2 protagonists in this next game. Grace and one of our lovely mainliners, probably not Chris, and I'll explain why. The reason I think this is to mention that the game will focus on survival horror but also be action. Now, this could just mean something like RE4, but in my opinion, nothing about Grace really screams action protagonist. This leads me to think that there will be 2 stories, Grace's and another's. Grace being our survival horror and whoever else being our action. Personally, I think the most likely is Leon. You would be correct. Due to the series usually doing 1 male, 1 female, but it also could be Jill. I don't expect Chris though, as we've never actually seen him in Raccoon City before. I could also see another Outbreak cast member joining the fray, possibly Yoko due to her strong ties with Alyssa's story. My next theory is the man in the chair. I've seen many theories on who he is, whether it's Wesker, Spencer, and even Jake. Doesn't make huge amounts of sense, but you do you. I think this is actually Brandon Bailey. A character mentioned in both 5 and 7 if I'm not mistaken. He has strong connections, pun intended, with Spencer, and also has a secret organisation called the Connections that played a role in the Baker incident Alyssa was investigating back in 2016. Perhaps she stumbled a bit too far in investigating their role and Brandon was even the one to kill her, but that's a bit too much speculation even for me. Finally, the weird creature we see. I've seen plenty of theories on this too. Lisa Trevor, who blew up in a mansion, not that close guys, so probably not. Or a suspender from Outbreak, which makes more sense. But I think a crazy spin that's probably not likely could be it being Alyssa or Grace herself. Hi. Since she was tied up and possibly experimented on. It being Grace would also link the 2 character theory. These are just my random thoughts. I could be completely wrong, but I hope you had some fun reading. I did have fun reading. Now, I'm actually not that huge up to date with the Resident Evil lore. I know pretty much all about 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, and 8, so all the basic ones. But from there, I would get a little bit lost. So a lot of these things here don't make a lot of sense to me, but I'm sure somebody else would be able to make sense of them. I like the Brandon Bailey theory a lot. I would love for Capcom to utilise more of the lore to tie all the games together in an organic way. I also suspect you're right about Leon being the second protagonist. Yeah, I would love to see Jill or Sherry return, especially Jill, but having 2 female protagonists and no male protagonists might upset a certain minority of the fanbase. I remember before RE9 was revealed, and before it was revealed that Grace was going to be the protagonist, I remember me and my brother discussing that we would want something with Ashley returning, but we thought it'd be fun if she ended up going on a mission herself, being an agent and something like that. I think that's still a fun thing they could do for some form of a spin-off in the future, but Sherry returning would also be quite fun. I agree with it being Brandon Bailey and the chain monster probably being Alyssa or Grace. It's going to be a tragic game and likely the last RE where Leon has a starring role. He will finally find closure and put Raccoon City behind him. RE9 is going to be a lot more action-oriented than people think. The description Capcom provided sounds very RE4 and I love that. I love the more action-oriented style that RE4 has, so if that made a return, I would be very happy. Like just having big shootout areas with monsters coming at you from all angles. Very RE4-esque. I'm thinking specifically bits in the castle. So based on what we have read today, most of the theories I can think about are related to Leon because he's probably the aspect of the game that I know the best, because like I said, I'm not very up to date with Resident Evil lore. That is definitely something I should do though. I very much like the theory of Leon getting amputated, as weird as that sounds. I just think if Capcom is looking for a good way to get rid of him, that'd probably be it. Let me know any theories you have down in the comments, and we can discuss them, and maybe you can educate me on some of the Resident Evil stuff that I don't really get. I really hope you enjoyed the first video on my new channel. This is a project I'm very, very excited about, and I hope you stick around for future videos as well. I will be streaming my first playthrough of Resident Evil Requiem right here on this channel when it comes out, so look out for that, and hopefully we'll have a good time. We'll see. I don't really know how to end this video, so bye bye.